It exploded in room 207 of Roosevelt High in Cleveland, Ohio on a bitter April morning. The air buzzed with flickering fluorescence, and the chalkboard was a war zone of smudged derivatives. Marcus Bell, 40, pushed his cleaning cart down the hall, his navy uniform sharp despite years of labor. For 7 years, he had scrubbed, hauled, and fixed at Roosevelt, always offering a quiet nod, often ignored by students and overlooked by teachers. But Marcus was more than a janitor, and what happened next would shatter every assumption held within those walls. Second period had barely begun. Mr. Frederick Wallace, a gaunt calculus teacher known for his razor-sharp tongue and knack for crushing spirits, prowled in front of his AP calculus class. The room reeked of chalk and anxiety as Wallace slapped the board where a daunting equation loomed. "Step up, brainiacs," he snarled, contempt dripping from his voice. "Solve it or I'll drag someone up here to flop." 20 seniors froze. Pencils twitched but no hands rose. Wallace's eyes swept the room like a predator hunting for weakness. His gaze fell on Marcus, who was sweeping outside the doorway. Wallace's lips curled into a cruel smirk. "Hey, Marcus," he bellowed. "You clean messes? Think you can clean up this equation?" Laughter rippled through the classroom. Caleb Harris, a cocky football player, leaned back, snickering. "Yeah, good luck, man." Jasmine Moore, a cheerleader with a sharp tongue, whispered to a friend, "What's he gonna do? Mop up the numbers." Marcus stopped, broom in hand, face unreadable though his stomach churned. He had swallowed countless insults before, but this was different, a public humiliation. With quiet resolve, he stepped into the doorway and met Wallace's gaze. "What's the problem?" he asked, voice calm but edged like steel. Wallace, momentarily thrown off, recovered quickly and jabbed at the board. "Go on, janitor. Show us what you've got." The room fell silent. Students leaned forward, some smirking, others sensing the shift. Marcus set down his broom, boots echoing against the tile as he crossed the classroom. He picked up a piece of chalk, studied the equation, and then began to write. His hand moved with precision, variables unraveling, integrals locked in place, each step deliberate. 3 minutes later, he stepped back, fingers dusted with chalk. "That's it," he said evenly. The board held a flawless solution. Wallace's smug expression melted as he scanned the work, eyes wide, desperate to find a mistake. "It's correct," he finally admitted, voice barely audible. The class erupted. Gasps, shouts, desks pounding. Caleb's jaw dropped. Jasmine stared in shock. Naomi Thomas, a quiet junior, whispered, "He just owned that." Marcus nodded once, retrieved his broom, and walked out, leaving the room in chaos. But Wallace's pride was wounded, and he wasn't about to let a janitor steal his thunder. By lunchtime, the story was wildfire. Students reenacted Marcus's takedown, mimicking Wallace's shocked expression. Naomi's Snapchat post with the caption, "Janitor 1, Wallace 0, went viral within hours. Marcus, hauling trash down the hall, felt the stares but kept moving. He wasn't looking for attention. His thoughts were on his son, Jordan, 15, who would be waiting at home for help with geometry homework. Math was their bond of refuge against a world that often pushed them to the margins. In the staff lounge, Wallace's bitterness festered. He got lucky, he hissed to anyone who'd listen. Probably saw the solution somewhere. Lorraine Barrett, the English teacher, overheard and frowned. "He solved it right in front of you, Fred." "That's not luck. He's a janitor, Lorraine. You really think he's working out differentials in the supply closet?" Wallace scoffed. Rumors spread quickly. 2 teachers chatting outside the boiler room echoed the gossip. "Wallace says the janitor's just fishing for attention," one said. "Guy needs to stay in his lane." Marcus heard them but kept stacking supplies. He'd grown up in Cleveland's hardest neighborhoods, teaching himself math from library books after being labeled as a lost cause by his own teachers. He had attended Ohio University as a math major but dropped out when Jordan's mother became pregnant. Bills mounted and textbooks gave way to steady work. But math remained his rebellion, equations scribbled on napkins, problems solved under the dim light of a worn desk lamp. By Thursday, the story had claws. Malik Daniels, a senior, dropped a TikTok reenacting Marcus's moment with a broom in hand. It hit 10,000 views by lunch. Students started calling Marcus the Calc King, slipping math riddles into his cart as jokes. But Wallace wasn't laughing. During class, Wallace slapped another brutal equation on the board. "Our resident Einstein wants to play," he sneered, loud enough for Marcus, mopping outside, to hear. The room went tense. Naomi leaned toward Malik and whispered, "This is just mean." Marcus paused. "The old trap again, prove you're more than the label or be crushed by it." He set the mop down and walked into the classroom, the air buzzing. Wallace reclined against his desk, smirk sharp. "Go ahead, Calc King." Ignoring the taunts, Marcus fixed his gaze on the board. He began to work, steady and precise. 7 minutes later, he stepped back. A clean, perfect power series solution glowed on the board. "Check it," he said, voice even. Wallace's smirk crumbled. He read over the solution, lips pressed tight. "It's correct," he muttered. The class erupted. Desks banged. Malik cheered, untouchable. Marcus walked out, head held high, not fueled by victory but drained by the weight of constant proving. That night, the TikTok clip exploded. 100,000 views, then 250,000. Comments poured in, "This man's a genius. Why is he cleaning?" Teacher got wrecked. Friday morning, Wallace stormed into Principal Caroline Hughes's office, face flushed. "Marcus is turning my class into a circus," he snapped. "He's not a teacher. He's making a joke out of my classroom." Hughes leaned back, unimpressed. "Fred, you mocked him in front of your students. Twice. Sounds like you're just angry he made you look bad." Wallace's voice rose. "He's undermining me. He needs to be disciplined." Hughes's eyes narrowed. "You humiliated him." He responded with skill. "I'm investigating this." That afternoon, she called Marcus into her office. He sat quietly, hands folded. "Marcus," Hughes began, "how do you know calculus so well?" He shrugged. "Studied at Ohio U. Math major for 2 years. Had to drop out when my son was born. I keep up with books, online classes." "You never mentioned college," Hughes said, surprised. "Didn't think it mattered," Marcus replied softly. "I'm here to clean." "It matters now," she said. "Fred's pushing for punishment, but this is bigger than that. Kids are talking. Parents are calling. The news is asking questions." By Monday, the story had become a storm. Local media aired segments on the janitor who solved calculus, looping the TikTok clip alongside interviews with stunned students. Parents flooded Hughes's inbox, some praising Marcus, others repeating Wallace's complaints about roles and professionalism. Wallace cornered Marcus in the hall that afternoon, voice dripping with venom. "Think you're a rock star now, janitor? Stick to your mop." Marcus met his glare, calm as ever. "I did. You handed me the chalk." Wallace turned away, seething. But the school was split. Students rallied behind Marcus, but a few staff circled their wagons around Wallace, whispering about professional boundaries. The district sent in Rachel Ortega, a sharp investigator known for cutting through nonsense. She questioned everyone: Wallace, Hughes, Barrett, Naomi, Malik. Naomi didn't hold back. "Mr." Wallace tried to humiliate Mr. Bell, and it backfired. Malik added, "He's just mad 'cause Mr. Bell is smarter." Ortega met Marcus last, her pen poised. "Tell me your side." Marcus spoke plainly. "He mocked me in front of the class. I didn't pick this fight. I just solved his problems." "Your college record checks out," Ortega confirmed. "Why math?" "It's fair," Marcus said quietly. "Numbers don't care who you are." The investigation wrapped fast. Ortega's report was clear. Mr. Bell acted with integrity. Mr. Wallace's complaint is retaliatory and biased. Recommends suspension and a formal apology. Hughes didn't hesitate. Wallace was suspended for 2 weeks and ordered to undergo bias training. At a strained staff meeting, Wallace muttered an apology. "I shouldn't have singled you out." "Noted," Marcus replied, voice flat. But the story didn't fade. Evelyn Reed, the head of the math department, approached Marcus with an offer: lead a weekly math clinic for struggling students. Marcus hesitated, unsure if he wanted the spotlight, but Jordan convinced him. "Dad, you're a game changer. Do it." Marcus began the clinic. Naomi mastered integrals. Caleb showed up, humbled but determined. The students didn't see a janitor. They saw a mentor. By summer, Roosevelt was changed. The Calc King label faded. Marcus Bell became Mr. Bell, the man who balanced sweeping floors and teaching math with equal grace. The district launched a program to uncover hidden talents among support staff, inspired by his story. At the senior assembly, Naomi and Malik presented Marcus with a plaque to Marcus Bell, who proved that knowledge knows no chains. The gym erupted in applause. Marcus stood, voice steady. This is for anyone ever told they're nothing. Your mind is your power. Use it. The roar shook the walls. Wallace, seated at the back, clapped once, his pride broken. But Marcus kept working, kept teaching, kept studying because respect was his victory, forged through fire, earned by proving that brilliance can shine from anywhere.